what everyone's going to be talking about today is that penalty by James Bradberry, an excellent corner at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
Now, after the game, Bradberry admits that, yeah, I held the receiver and I was hoping the refs wouldn't see it. Here's the issue that I have, right? Because it was a great game. The referees inject themselves yet again, which has been a theme throughout this season. It's not that I don't think it was a penalty. Bradberry even admitted as such after the game. And credit to Bradberry for facing the music for what will probably be his toughest moment as a pro.
Right.
What will be his toughest. Yeah, Ike. Yeah, Ike.
Yeah, I've been there.
Go ahead.
I've been there before. I know it's tough. Man, I've been there before, but I haven't been there before in the Super Bowl game. But in the playoff game, I've been there before. So I understand exactly how he's probably feeling. Not only after the game, because during the game, you just got to let it go and move on. But after the game, sitting in the locker room, I don't know how long that man probably sat in that locker room. If he was like me, I sat in the locker room for a long time. They had to hold the plane for me. Man, that's just part of the game. You just don't like them calls at that crucial moment in the game because it was a minute and 38 seconds left, 3rd and 8. They kick a field goal. The way the Philadelphia Eagles was moving the ball, they would have had action. You know what I'm saying? Or they would have tied the game up going into overtime. But to get a fresh new start of downs with that holding mark, you know, that's now we're already working against the clock because the Philadelphia Eagles only had one timeout left at that particular moment. So it was just tough. But for Bradberry, I've been up before. It sucks. But at the same time, it sparked a whole new flame in the inside of me of next year in the offseason. So I would never get in that position again. And honestly, it kind of projected on the upward my career because I was like, hell with that. It kind of hit the reset button for me. So for Bradberry, man, hopefully it'll just hit the reset button going into the offseason. Let that fuel the energy in your body to not ever letting that happen again. And it's just technique, man. It's small things, Mark. Like when we're in press coverage and I tell my son his homeboys and all the corners when I'm coaching them, you know, your eyes can be your best friend or your worst enemy. You know, if you sneak in the backfield, if you just take a glance, you're gonna put yourself in a bad position. And that's exactly what Bradberry did. He just took a glance and put him in a bad position, and you kind of panic. And once you panic, you do things that's not helpful towards you or the team. But I mean, like you said, a man owned up to it. So everybody can say what they want to say in the rules of the book, or flag or no flag. The man said, "Man, I held, and I hope I didn't get caught." What else you want the man to say or to do? So, but for me, from a corner to a corner, I can't say shake it off because it's going to always be with him. Hopefully the Philadelphia Eagles get back to it and win one while he's on the roster so they can kind of give it an even trade. That's how I looked at it from my standpoint. But that's just part of the game. It just sucks it came at that particular moment because that was a crucial moment. And you don't – and the Super Bowls aren't promised. I mean, just look at Aaron Rodgers having been there 12, 13 years. It's a lot of quarterbacks don't go back. And that's the time they beat me. So hopefully they can get back. And I'm saying they can get back just to shake that penalty off of Bradberry in my situation.
Yeah, Ike, I see that as two sides to the coin where you experienced this several different scenarios, similar positions where you talk about the Demaryius Thomas play in Denver. So, you know, that's where you're talking about where your season's over. And that's a very harsh reality to face. You experienced the other side of that, though, too, where it looks like Larry Fitzgerald's going to score the game winner for the Super Bowl in Tampa. And, you know, you're rescued by your offense and your offense rallies and San Antonio Holmes does his thing and the rest is history. So you've seen both sides of that. And I think you bring up a great point where I think this Eagles team will be back. I think they're certainly talented enough to. And it was a great game, put up 35 points and it was a thriller. Here's the issue I have, though, Ike, is yes, you have to make that call and you know it when you see it. It was a penalty. But earlier in the game, there were several instances where there were defensive backs all over the receivers, getting to the receivers early, and the refs weren't calling it earlier in the game. So it's the consistency that I have issue with, because I could show you several replays earlier on in the game where oh, is this a catch? Is this not a catch? Where it's like, wait a second, the DB's all over the receiver, and you could easily flag the receiver and it would be ticky-tack. But I also thought that the call against Bradberry was ticky-tack. So that's the issue that I take, is the consistency from the refs, which I didn't see that last night, Ike. And that's just my opinion. That's what my eyes were telling me.
Yeah, you ain't lying, Mark. I mean, while I was watching the game, I watched the first half at my crib. I watched the second half at my homeboy spot. And that was the main concern, the consistency from the referees on calling the game. If you lay down the law, that first series on both sides, this is how the game's going to be, then I take off from them. But if you inconsistent with the law on letting some things go throughout the game, then we're talking about this right here. So just from a ref side, I know it's hard. It's human nature. We all make mistakes. But at the same time, I look at the referees when it comes down to sports. Like when you lay down the law at the beginning, let it be throughout the whole game. So now, as a coach, as a player, like, okay, I got to be careful with my hands because these referees, they throwing flags. Or if I'm being aggressive, I can be like, and the referee don't call it, I can be like, okay, the refs letting us play. This is a Super Bowl, they're letting us play. So that was the word we used last night when it came down to the refs. It was the consistency part on their side.